Tom Lee just gave his opinions about the market, whether we're overheated, in bull market, or bubble market territory, why he thinks tech still can do well, and also his thoughts on small caps and why they're performing really poorly and what he thinks is coming next. We're going to go through this, also look at the crypto market, Bitcoin specifically, and altcoins, I suppose, as well. We do have some news too. We have Michael Saylor saying, take a break. We'll talk about that. We also have the Director of National Intelligence, the incoming director, talking very favorably about Bitcoin, and another public company that is buying Bitcoin here today. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video. If you want to trade crypto, there's a link to Blofin underneath the video. You can get set up in just a few minutes, and you can go long the market. To be clear too, I am very long the market. I'm very excited for this market. If you sign up with the link underneath the video to Blofin, you can get access to the spinny wheel, which gives you bonuses in Solana just for trading on the platform. So you can complete different tasks and get more chances to spin. So definitely check this out. But let's get over to Tom Lee and his thoughts on the market.
When we're looking at stocks that are up 550% and 300%, okay, there are paradigm shifts which will bring in a lot of money to new things. Is there any part of Tom Lee, not the drummer, that does worry that things are a little bit hot at 40 times forward earnings on many of these, like an Oracle, a name that we didn't talk about much for years?
I mean, at some point, valuation becomes a liability when the market isn't able to be surprised or the market has overpaid for future growth. But to me, the last couple of years is really a story where investors have been underpaying for technology and the amount of innovation. I think 2025 is a year where we're going to find the AI and a lot of these applications actually do sort of re-architect the way America does business, and it's vastly cheaper, and that's why these companies are doing so well. But you're right, Brian. At some point, it's a bubble. I don't really think that that's the word yet, because I don't find that much ebullience in our clients. I think our clients are still pretty skeptical about valuations, which is why I think valuations aren't really a problem just yet.
One point I'll just raise on the skeptical note, which is on the call for small caps, Tom, which a lot of people were on the small cap bandwagon this year, and there were times where that really worked, but I don't know if December's a preview of what's to come. Small caps are still down 7% in December as the S&P's gone flat. NASDAQ far outperforming on the year, the small caps. Everyone hoped this was the time where the rally would broaden out, but then when the Fed pared back how many rate cuts it was going to get next year, small caps didn't work. So what makes you think that this will be the year?
Well, that's a really fair observation, Sarah. Small caps really are probably the best expression of when they believe the Fed is cutting for the right reasons, and there was a rug pull in December. I do think your viewers have to keep in mind small caps may not have hit escape velocity yet, but their underperformance for the last decade is 91 percentage points versus the S&P. It's the second worst 10-year underperformance since 1998. And then before
that's
that,
not necessarily bullish. I mean,
well, actually, it is very bullish,
right?
Sarah. It's super bullish because if you go back to 1900 and use FAMA data, it's the second worst in history. If you take the three worst instances, never have small caps underperformed the next 3 years or 5 years. So what we've done is essentially discounted so much bad news. There's so much skepticism. I think almost everybody that talks about small caps says, well, they haven't worked, so they're not going to work. They're trading at a 10 forward PE. They're going to benefit from deregulation. 49% of small caps are cyclical stocks, which are really primed to do well next year. So I think that the probabilities for a very good year are high at a time when skepticism's high. I mean, isn't that what FANG was at the start of 2023? I remembered how many people said, put a fork in FANG at the end of 2022, they're done. And they just put in the two best years I think anyone could have ever expected.
Okay, very interesting from Tom Lee. Obviously, he didn't talk about Bitcoin there, but he has talked about Bitcoin in the past. He predicted Bitcoin to hit $250,000 next year, which would be very bullish. I'd take another 150% gain next year. Now, to be clear, Bitcoin Let's look at the price here. Over the last 1 year, it is up 140%. So it's not out of the question that you can move up 140%. But he didn't talk about Bitcoin there. Let's look at stocks, though. Stocks pretty much sideways on the day. They were negative earlier today, but coming back. The fact is we do have a Fed that is, I know that he said that there's a rug pull, meaning that the market was thinking we're going to see 4 rate cuts. We're seeing now 2 potentially next year. But we still have a Fed that is going to lower rates, a Fed that is tightening right now, but is talking about quantitative easing here soon. And while they have kept rates higher for longer, the fact is we are looking quite bullish in the sense that we can lower rates here soon, and that will affect crypto. He talks about small caps a lot. I know some people actually kind of compare small caps to altcoins in the sense that we do have cryptos that are smaller that run much harder, obviously, when there is more liquidity in the market, when the Fed looks more dovish, alts run. So a lot of people are looking at the altcoin market, waiting for maybe Bitcoin dominance to fall when the Fed starts printing more money, when the Fed lowers a little bit more aggressively. But right now we have seen alts fall a little bit harder than Bitcoin recently. Bitcoin dominance moving up a little bit since Bitcoin was at 108,000. Now, I actually talked about this a little bit in my last video, and the altcoins are just getting rejected video. But it is interesting to take a look at the market overall. But I do think we have a very bullish next year, just like Tom Lee said. And we get more news like this all the time. Kohler launches Bitcoin Treasury to purchase 217.18 Bitcoin for $21 million. This is a company worth about $1 billion. Their market cap's right around $1 billion. And today it's up 34% on this news. So massive move up today. And we get more bullish things like this happening all the time too. Incoming U.S. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. There is value in the U.S. having its own strategic Bitcoin reserve. So we continue to get more and more bullish sentiment from politicians. We get more and more good news, and more people that seem to be backing Bitcoin. So while there is some fluctuation in the price of Bitcoin, the fact is for the next year we have some tailwinds. To be clear, now. Michael Saylor says, take a holiday break with a Bitcoin B. Maybe saying, just take a step away from your computers, enjoy yourself a little bit, just relax. Now, of course, if you do want to trade crypto, there's a link to Blofin underneath the video. You can get set up in just a few minutes, and you can take advantage of their new trading bonus for using my link. I really do appreciate you guys watching. Let me know your thoughts on what Tom Lee said down below in the comment section, and I'll see you all in the next one.